Hi friends, it's Sue at A Call to Create, and I am getting very excited about my December daily journal that I'll be working in the month of December. And as we know, December gets very busy, so I thought I would start making some ephemera to use in my journals so that on those busy days I can just grab something and, glue it down and be done. So I thought I would take you along and just do a little um, glance at what I've made so far. And might as well start with this. A lot of these things were things that I made last year and didn't use, so I just pulled them all out. But I've also been making a lot of new things as well. So some border strips, just a book page folded, and I did a little distressing there and put some stickers down, and that is ready to go on the edge of a page. Last year, in fact, I believe I still have the video on my channel of making these strips. So I used some of them last year. I maybe made about 5 of them last year. So I used some of them in last year's journals, but I still have some ready to go as well. I have some journal cards, mostly, just using scraps and a few stickers ready to go here. There's a little snowflake sticker, and tried to put a little something on each one as a focal point. This is actually a playing card, and put that on a background of scraps. This was something from a children's book that I thought, I just put that on a library card. I think I made that last year and never used it. Here's one from an old ad, and I just, I don't think I made a copy of that. I think maybe I made a copy of it, and that's the other side. Anyway, I just did a little zigzag stitch around it. A couple of these coming up were from a book, and I thought these are not journaling spots. I just thought I would stick them in a pocket. The Colors of Christmas, and then there's a little poem on the back. So that I thought that was cute. There's a little snowman image from the book, and then, Christmas is a wonderful time of year, and so on. So I just put those together and stitched around the border. Here's a little snow globe. There seems a magic in the very name of Christmas, Charles Dickens. So these are just little things I can stick in, or, put on the edge of a page, make a little flip out, and, have some journaling space underneath. This was one I had from last year or even the year before. I just took a piece of two-sided scrapbook paper, and this was an image from a children's coloring book, and a couple other little things on there. And I could use a white gel pen in here, I was thinking, so I won't put anything on there. These are just little things I made from paper bags or packaging. Had some punches, and so those can go into a pocket. Here's another one. I might dress that up a little bit more, but, to get you started, just to have a few things like that going. I made some tags. This one I started with a tag, and then I was trying to use a lot of scraps. I had a lot of scraps from previous years, and I just kind of put them in groups of according to size, and took all the little ones, and then, just started making little clusters and things. So I also have a punch that punches tags like this, so I made a bunch of those, and then little scraps here, a little sticker, and a couple things here. And so that's a little tight, so I'll have to work on that. There we go. But that could be journaling space on the back. Here's another one. Again, lots of scraps, and I just kind of cut them down into, you know, sizes, smaller sizes, and then tried to pick colors that went together. And here's one, just some scrapbook paper and, you know, a sticker here on top of a label. This was, you know, another little bit of ephemera that I had. I think a Tim Holtz packet from last year. This was a vintage sticker, and then, you know, a little ticket with the word on it. And so that's ready to go into a pocket or, you know, whatever. This I found in a little booklet, and I just thought he was adorable. So just made a little tag out of him with space for journaling. And I was doing a lot of clusters, so I thought these could be pockets. You know, this could be a big pocket where you put, you know, tuck something else into it like that. Smaller ones the same way. This would be something that you could put on the edge of a page and then, you know, tuck a journaling card into that if you glued it on 3 sides. But again, this is just a paint chip with some washi tape, a couple of different washi tapes, and a little cluster of scraps. Easy peasy. Here's another one. I thought this could be a pocket on a page. Here's a smaller pocket. And another cluster that could be a tuck. Yeah, and then I have, this was something I had from the year before, and I just made, like, what do you call those, coin pockets, right? And just put a little cluster on there with some stickles around the outside and then a tag. I will spruce up the tag and do something with that, but at least, you know, it can get you started. This was also something I had from last year. Just a little envelope made out of a book page and some washi and a couple of stickers. This is a page from a notepad that I found at a thrift store. I recently discovered a thrift store by us that's just for craft supplies, and those are great. You know, people bring in the stuff that they know they're not going to use, they donate it, and then, you know, those of us who want more can go in and buy more stuff. Okay, so what I did here was I just made a little pocket by flipping up. You can see this is the whole notepad here for December. And so I just flipped the bottom up, flipped the top down, and put a couple of little, I built this up with a few layers. And so that can just, I'll put something in the pocket at some point, but those little things hold it down. And I made another one. This was another notepad. And so I just put one in here and sewed it down so that it would be a pocket. And then this one, I did the same, except I left it open for journaling. So yeah, those are ready to be glued in. And now I also made some bigger things. So this is a CD case that I made. I did close this up. And I used a Christmas card in here as the image. And I happen to have a die, so I was able to cut the circle in here. This way I can use whatever scrap paper I have to make this CD case. And yeah, and then I went around with the white gel pen, and so that is ready to be glued down. That can become a pocket or a flip could have journaling space on the back, whatever, you know. Yeah, I've been watching some videos by, it's probably Sharon. She has a lot of good ideas if you haven't followed her on YouTube yet. But she has a lot of little things like this where you can use something to hold down a flap so it's not sticking up when you turn the page. So, yeah, this is journaling space here, or I could glue it down as a pocket. But you know how that would just flip up unless you put it down in some way. Like you could use something like that. But also if you put a pocket on there, you can just use another little tag in the pocket to hold that flap down so that it doesn't cause a problem as you're turning the page. So I use that, and I did this one as well. This one would be some journaling space. But again, you don't want that flap flipping up, so you make a little pocket and put a tag in there. You can put all kinds of things in there and make as many as you want. You could also put this on a page and just glue it on 3 sides and have another tuck spot in the back. So that's always good to do too. I made this, she had this, she puts one of these in each of her journals usually, either in the front or in the back. So this is just scrapbook paper that I had, and I just made these by building up a few layers of like index card or scraps. And then I probably should have waited to put the brad through and then put the paper over it so it wouldn't show, but I didn't think that far ahead. So anyway, when you open that up, you've got places where you could put a lot of different things. If it's at the beginning, I might put my calendar or my bucket list or my list of movies. But this year I'm going to put it at the end with my list of, you know, 1 line each day of what's in the news. I'll probably write that on here as I go along throughout the month. Just 1 thing each day. But you could put a whole bunch of things in here. She had a tuck spot up here. You know, you could put things down here, and you could just lay things in there as well. And then, you know, it's pretty easy to put together. So she's got a lot of really good ideas. So here was another idea of hers, which I loved. Again, this keeps these 2 panels closed, and this one also keeps the back. These are 2, it's a gatefold. So when you open it up, you've got more space in here. So I put a pocket, I put a journaling card. You could also put things on the sides or use that as journaling space. And then again, you know, that might pop open, but if you take this tag and put it in here, it's all going to stay nice and flat and in one place and not open up as you turn the page. So I really liked that idea of hers as well. This was something I had from a previous year. I just took a doily and what did I do? I put some tag board or like manila, you know, from a file folder on as the base for this wreath. And I just took scraps as I was working. Now these are so small. These are the kind of things you just toss. But no, I saved them all and just, you know, kind of went around and glued them all around the circle and then glued it to the doily. And I don't know what I'll do with that. I didn't use it last year, so we'll see if I can find a spot for it this year. I guess it could be, you know, like a tuck spot or something. We'll see. And then I also have some smaller things I've been working on. I have in this bag, these are all paper clips and hidden paper clips, depending on This is just a regular one. This was a few years ago. I made this. It was maybe, I think I purchased a set of greeting cards at the dollar store, and I made a journal just using things from the dollar store. So this was just a paper clip, and I never used it for anything, so that's still waiting here. Some little paper clips like that. This one is just a flag. I kept it open. I will glue it later once I decide, you know, do I want to use it on the left side of my journal, or do I want to take the paper clip out, put it in the opposite way, and use it on the right side. So that's why I left it open. But once I decide what page I want to use it on, I will glue the two ends together. And this is just, you know, from one of those little gift tags, and a little word in here from, I did buy Tim Holtz's book this year that has a lot of the little words in it. And I also bought, I don't have it right in front of me, but it's a lot of little words like that, but they're stamps, rubber stamps. So I figured I will use them both at one point or another. When I run out of the Tim Holtz, I'll have the stamped images I can use. Here's another paper clip. Here's another one. Have a cozy Christmas. This is a hidden paper clip. Here's some more of those that can go either way. And again, just, you know, I put all the little bits into a container so that they're handy for small kinds of things like this. You know, you don't have to go rooting through large items. You can just put them together according to size, and it'll save you a lot of time when you're making these little clusters of things, you know, just little bits that you have left over. This is another, just something I can use on the edge. Here's a ticket with a scrap of paper and a little bit of ribbon, and there you go. So we've got those, and then, oh, I had this one too. This is kind of ready to go, although, yeah, this is just a tag, and I did some distress inking on there through a stencil, and just punch squares, and made I think I put them on, yeah, I did. I put them on like another strip of paper, and then just glued them at the top and the bottom. And then this is just little something that'll go in here. I may cut it down. I may fold it in half. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do yet, so I just left it that way. And finally, I have another bag. Oh, this was a paper clip. It should have gone with the other ones. And then these are just little clusters that I thought, you know, I can decide when the time comes if I want to use them, you know, to dress up a journaling card or wherever, you know, just the side of a page. So again, I just use scraps and a little bit here, and threw these together. They go very quickly if you have everything organized according to size. So, and then I just I put a few little stick-on, whatever you call those, little jewels. And then here's a corner tuck. I just glued some graph paper on there, put a little image on there, no peeking. I thought that was good. And then when you put that on the edge of the page, you know, of course, you can just glue it on two sides and make that a little tuck. Here's a little flashcard with a few little bits, and another one here. So anyway, I think I'm ready to go. I probably, you know, won't get to half of this. Oh, here's some more. Found a few more. Just a few things in here that I'll probably add more to this thing. These are just things I made that could go on the edge of a page. This I made with buttons several years ago and never used it. So this would have to hang off the edge of a page so that it doesn't, you know, cause a bulk or a problem in the journal itself. But if hanging off the side would be fine. Same thing here. This is just, I don't even know where this came from. If I put the two together or came this way, probably came that way. I just put a little hook through the top, and you know, here's a little something with a few beads, and you know, you could just have a little, there's another one. I'm going to make some more of these, but, you know, if you had like a little piece of fabric as a tab on the edge of a page and then clip that, that would make a nice little side adornment. So there you go. I am curious as to whether you've started making things for your journal for December. You know, it does get busy, so the more you can have done ahead of time, the better. Plus, I'm kind of in the spirit of it now. You know, we've been watching all those Hallmark movies, and so here's another one. Yeah, I'm in the mood. So, you know, I started doing all this. I have my journal ready, which I will come on and show you as we finish with the autumn journal, and I'll show you what I'm planning on doing. So anyway, thanks for coming along and taking a look. Let me know if you're in the spirit and have started making your journal, or the ephemera at least for your journal. Yeah, how you doing with that? And I'll see you next time. Take care.